Goldmorr USA Presents, How Do You Know? Hi, I'm Bret Sallee. I'm the national trainer with Goldmorr USA. Welcome to How Do You Know? The series where we challenge assumptions and ask better questions about mold remediation, indoor air quality, and building science. Today's question is one every remediation professional should be willing to ask. How do you know the job is actually done? Not just finished, not just cleaned up, not just packed up, actually done. There's a difference. A job can look complete. The tools can be loaded, the containment can be removed, the customer can be ready to move forward. But the real question is not simply, are we finished? The better question is, what evidence tells us the work achieved the intended result? That matters because remediation is not just about activity, it's about outcome. You can spend hours cleaning, removing materials, running equipment, and documenting the process. But if the underlying issue wasn't addressed, or if the affected areas were not evaluated properly, the job may not be as complete as it appears. Imagine walking into a project where visible mold has been removed from a wall, the surface looks better, the room smells better, the crew feels good about the work. But before calling the job done, a professional should still be asking, was the moisture source corrected? Were affected materials addressed appropriately? Were connected areas considered? Was the indoor environment evaluated? Was the work documented? And when appropriate, was the outcome verified? Those questions are not about creating extra work. They're about creating confidence. There is a big difference between hoping a job is complete and knowing why you believe it is complete. Good remediation should be explainable. If a property owner, adjuster, consultant, or another professional asks, why do you believe this job is done? The answer should not be, because it looks good. A better answer is based on the conditions observed, the scope performed, the documentation collected, and the evidence available at completion. That might include moisture readings. It might include photographs. It might include inspection notes. It might include air or surface testing when appropriate. It might include third-party verification, depending on the project. The specific evidence can vary, but the principle is the same. Completion should be supported by information. At Goldmorr, we talk a lot about assessment before action, but assessment also matters after the work is complete, because the end of the job is where confidence is either built or lost. A homeowner may not understand every detail of the process. A property manager may not know the difference between one remediation approach and another, but they can understand when a contractor communicates clearly. They can understand documentation. They can understand when a professional explains what was done, why it was done, and what evidence supports the outcome. That builds trust. It also protects the contractor, because when the process is documented, the work becomes more defensible. Not every project needs the same level of verification. Not every job requires the same documentation. Not every situation calls for third-party testing. But every project deserves thoughtful completion criteria. What does done mean on this job? Who decides? What evidence supports that conclusion? Those questions should be considered before the crew leaves the site. One of the challenges in remediation is that visual appearance can be misleading. A clean-looking wall does not automatically prove the moisture source was corrected. A room that smells better does not automatically prove the indoor environment has improved. A completed scope does not automatically prove that no important condition was missed. That is why professionals need a process: assess, decide, remediate, document, verify when appropriate, and communicate the outcome clearly. That process is not about fear. It is about confidence. Confidence for the contractor, confidence for the client, confidence that the decisions made were based on evidence, not assumptions. So the next time a remediation project appears to be finished, pause before calling it done. Ask one more question. How do I know the job is actually complete? Because in remediation, being finished is not the same as being verified, and better questions lead to better remediation. If you found today's discussion helpful, please subscribe for more practical education on mold remediation, indoor air quality, verification, and building science. Until next time, keep asking, how do you know? I'm Bret Sallee. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoy evidence-based education that helps remediation professionals think before they act, subscribe to the channel, and join me next week for another episode of How Do You Know? Because better questions lead to better remediation.